Jayanti. Uh, Today we have a wonderful program. Our own Damleji is going to talk about it. But before that, I was told that someone is going to. There's a poem is written on Shivaji in Tamil. So someone is going to recite that poem stanza and give us the explanation what that means.
Vivekji, we have two presentations, guest appearances.
Right.
The first guest appearance is by Ms. Srijani Chakrabarti, who is going to recite a poem written by Rabindranath Thakur in Bangla on Shivaji. Sriniji.
Very good. Very good. Sriniji, unmute yourself, please.
Srijaniji, please unmute yourself so that we can listen to you.
Okay. I thought you were going to start with the poem first.
Yeah, she's starting.
Poem.
Okay. So I'm listening.
Am
Yes.
I audible?
Yes,
Yes.
you are audible.
Yes, please.
Today is a Mother Tongue Day in our country. It's Matribhasha Divash. In respect of Shivaji, I'm reciting a poem of Tagore on Shivaji. The name of the poem is Shivaji Utsav. কোন দূর শতাব্দীর কোন এক অখ্যাত দিবসে নাহি জানি আজি মারাঠার কোন শৈলে অন্যের অন্ধকারে বসে হে রাজা শিবাজি তব ভাল উদ্ভাসিয়া এ ভাবনা তড়িৎ প্রভাবত এসেছিল নামে এক ধর্মরাজ্য পাশে খণ্ড ছিন্ন বিক্ষিপ্ত ভারত বেঁধে দিব আমি সেদিনে বঙ্গদেশ উচ্চকিত জাগিনী স্বপনে পাইনি সংবাদ বাহিরে আসেনি ছুটে উঠে নাই তাহার প্রাঙ্গণে শুভ শঙ্খনাদ শান্ত মুখে বিছাইয়া আপনার কোমল নির্মল শ্যামল উত্তরী তন্দ্রাতুর সন্ধ্যাকালে শতপল্লী সন্তানের দল ছিল বক্ষে করি This is the first stanza of the poem.
Sure.
Just let us know in English briefly what this poem says about Shivaji.
Actually, Tagore has written this poem on the background of Indian freedom struggle against British rule, and he compared the situation of India under British rule with that of India under Mughal Empire. And he felt the need to hail the Indian heroes who fought against the Mughal Empire to unite the nation under one umbrella, or say so. And Tagore felt the pressing need to recall the heroic deeds of heroes across India who fought oppression, occupation, and genocide, like Chhatrapati Shivaji. He felt the need that Bengalis have to unite with the people of the other provinces of India and hail to the names of our heroes, so that the foreign rulers will not only be on notice, but the oppressed and subjugated will also be inspired into direct action against all manners of injustice imposed, especially by foreign hands. In a nutshell, he expressed the need of union of nation into one force.
Thank you, Srijani. It's such a wonderful to hear Rabindranath Tagore's poem in Bangla on Shivaji. I thank you very much for bringing this to us. Namaste.
Thank you very much. Now we have Shri Vijay Subramaniam from Cleveland, Ohio. He is going to recite one stanza of a Tamil poem written by a poet, Subramaniam Bharati, in honor of Shivaji, and then he'll give a brief synopsis in English language what Subramanyam Bharati wrote about Shivaji, Chhatrapati Shivaji. Vijayji, please go ahead. Please unmute yourself, Vijayji.
Namaste Adityanji, namaste everyone, and dhanyawad for sharing the link, and it's awesome to be part of this. The Mahakavi Subramanya Bharati wrote this poem on Chhatrapati Shivaji sometime in the year 1912. I would just recite the first stanza of the poem and then explain the brief meaning of what is it. The first two lines are pretty self-explanatory. It starts like this: Jai Jai Bhavani, Jai Jai Bharatam, Jai Jai Mata, Jai Jai Durga. So as we know, poet Bharati was an ardent Kali devotee. So he starts with this invocation. And then he moves on to say, Senai Talaivargalal, Siranda Mantri Galal, Yanai Talaivarum, Arun Tiral Veerar Galal. I think these two first paragraphs of the poem, it's a pretty big poem, mentions the fact that he's hailed by various army chiefs, which underscores the fact that Maharaj Shivaji was able to have a coalition. He was able to build allies outside of his own region, thereby projecting a high-end state. So he says, say various army chieftains hailed by them, and Siranda Mantrigalal, by the ministers of these local chieftains, Yanai Talaivarum Aruntadi Veerargalal, by the various armies, by the infantries, and by the various by the horsemen, by the various other small units of army. So these four lines initially give us the idea of Shivaji Maharaj's first attempt after the Ashoka Empire in creating a high-end state. And I think these four lines pretty much capture the whole essence of what was done by Shivaji Maharaj in creating high-end state. So yeah, I think that kind of gives us a very good overlook of what the leader is about.
Thank you, Subramanyam ji. It is such a wonderful to listen to Subramanyam Bharati's poem by Subramanyam ji on Shivaji. So thank you very much for coming and sharing the Tamil poem, which we were really looking forward to. Thank you again.
Dhanyawad to everybody, and dhanyawad to Adityan ji for inviting me. And I'm waiting to hear the rest of it.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you. So now, Damle ji, if you can please say what you like to say.
Yeah. Yesterday was Shivaji Maharaj's birthday, and all over America, Maharashtra Mandal in different cities, or even in England also, celebrated Shivaji Maharaj's birthday very as an inspiration story. But I would like to share a most important thing, which I think Dr. Bhishmaji perhaps aware about that. In 1983 to 87, 4 years, Friends of India Society International Chicago celebrated Shivaji Jayanti, where Dr. Mohan Jain was a secretary. And that time, we wanted to present Shivaji Maharaj as an ideal Hindu universal personality, because most of time, Marathi people there, they consider Shivaji as their monopoly, as a Maratha warrior, and other people describe Shivaji Maharaj as a Maratha warrior king. We wanted to present Shivaji Maharaj as an ideal Hindu universal personality. Some people challenge us that time also, and we say, if Shivaji Maharaj is America can say Abraham Lincoln, or Italy can say Mazzini, why not Shivaji Maharaj as an ideal universal personality? By quality, his life story is there, and we did it, I think. And that time, we also have this various song in various languages about Shivaji in Tamil, from Subramanya Bharati, Rabindranath Tagore, Gujarati song on Jizabai's pregnancy, and of course Marathi songs and Hindi Bhushan Kavi, we did a presentation. Coming back to point, after 2014, Western scholar tried to present Shivaji Maharaj from different angles as a Hindu nationalist. And from that, that's why I selected this topic, Shivaji Maharaj as the maker of modern India. All of us, we are, those who are attending today, they know Shivaji biography by heart. They are fully aware about, I'm using modern term, Shivaji elimination or termination of the Abdul Khan. Shivaji's surgical strike at Shaista Khan in his house, in his palace. Then Shivaji Maharaj daring escape from Agra, everybody knows. All these things everybody knows. I would like to present Shivaji Maharaj as a maker of modern India. And one of the, because nowadays happen, we should aware about American history professor at Rutgers University, State University, New Jersey, Audrey Truskett. She wrote a book on Aurangzeb, life and legacy of India's most controversial king, Aurangzeb, and in which she tried to present Aurangzeb, how good and bad both sides, and indirectly she tried to present Shivaji as a challenge to the Aurangzeb. That is a very, very tricky intellectual approach. And I call this kind of approach as information imperialism. Because they know Western scholars, they know the methodology, technique of the research, they have the funding, they go to India, they do the hard work, no doubt, research work, but they try to give the conclusion in very, very shrewd political agenda. And this, from this point, even though unfortunately some of our Indian historians also indirectly follow that school of thinking. During the British time, colonial time, I'm purposely using the non-Marathi people, because for the Maharashtra, Shivaji is like a god. I'm using the non-Marathi, like a famous historian, Yaduna Sarkar. He did a wonderful work with the Parsi study and Arabic study. He wrote almost like 5 volumes on Aurangzeb from 1901 to 1934. He wrote 2 volumes. He wrote Shivaji in his time in 1919. But indirectly also, he challenged the concept that Shivaji as a maker of modern India, because he said, oh, there was Maratha kingdom, but after that did not last long, and British conquered India. So on this background, I would like to present, everybody knows the Shivaji story. So I'm coming back to what is modern, what is India, and what is Shivaji's place, contribution in that. From this point of view, modern means people's government. Modern means efficient and non-corrupt administration. Modern means justice to all. Modern means security to the people, protection, security to people, and equality of the people. And from this point of view, I would like to draw your attention about Shivaji Maharaj. Number one, everybody knows he took the oath at age of 14 about pre-country from the foreign rule. And India was almost 700 years under the foreign rule. No doubt there was so many history, like inspiring martyrdom of Rajput, Vijayanagar Golden Empire, so many different people from different states, like Lachit Datta from Assam, or Nayak from the Tamil Nadu. They fought against the foreign ruler. But nobody has, Shivaji has capacity, done wonderful work of turning the history from slavish mentality into the victorious mentality, and he established Hindavi Swarajya Hindavi means local people. The local people rule. And all this he presented that. And how he do that? When Shivaji was born, and he has an elder brother, Sambhaji, who's 10 years older than him. And Shivaji Maharaj spent childhood at Bangalore with Shahaji Maharaj. And Shahaji Maharaj was Sanskrit scholar, very warrior. He did a almost rule de facto Nizam Shahi, but ultimately he has to surrender and join the Bijapur. So Mughal Shah Jahan suggested Bijapur Sultan to don't keep Shahaji Raje into Maharashtra, so send to the Bangalore. But there he get contact with the Vijayanagar Empire, and he studied that, and he followed. So Shahaji has what called Jagir, or landlordship of one of the Pune district. And while coming there, Shahaji sent Shivaji Maharaj with the Dadoji Konde as an efficient administrator to the Pune, and Jijabai to Pune. And Pune was in such a bad condition that Sultanate burned the whole Pune city in such a way, and to create the fear complex, they put the donkey plow in Pune and put that plow saying that nobody can rehabilitate here. So when Jijabai came and Dadoji Konde gave the golden plow to Shivaji Maharaj and start rehabilitating Pune. The Shahaji has 100,000 hon, is a golden coin of the Jagir of Pune. 100,000 hon Jagir means Shahaji or Shivaji has to give 100,000 hon to the Bijapur Sultanate. How to get the money? The whole district was burned out. Out of 1,000 acre of land, only 300 acre land was under cultivation. So income was from that, it was forced to give 100,000 homes to Bijapur. How to give that? So they give the distribution to Deshmukh and other people, Saukar, to collect the money from the farmers. So poor farmers did not have no other choice because give the money, and there was insecurity of the life, so they could not able to stay in the house. Their wives, the wife or mother or daughter were not secure. So in that time, it was a plundering of the money from the farmers to the giving the $100,000 to the Bijapur. And as you know, the system, percentage system, when you collect $100,000, there are some more, they collected 200,000 and keep the percentage with the government officer. When Shivaji Maharaj came there, Jijabai and Dadoji Konde, what they did first thing, they rehabilitate 100,000 acre land. They give the off, don't pay the taxes for next 5 years. And what happened of that? And the protection and security to the woman. So with this thing, the farmers earn the money. Farmers earn the good crops, and they sell the crops, earn the good money. So farmer was able to buy the shoes to go to the market. Farmers to going to the market, farmer was able to buy cloth. So give the job to the to stitches cloth. Then farmers need the plow, so give the job to carpenter and smith, blacksmith. So with this kind of thing, Dadoji Konde not only give the protection and the security, but rehabilitated the system with the guarantee. That time, Bijapur tax was almost like a 60 to 80%. Dadoji Konde brought it down to 30%. So farmers used to get the money, above money. So farmers able to have the life. Then farmers started building the houses and give the job to the builders and all of the thing. So when this thing happened, so common local people feel like, hey, I have the guarantee of secure life and honorable life and a life with the justice. When one of the officer did misbehave with the woman, the strict justice was done by amputating his leg and the hands. So giving the message, hey, anybody try to disrespect woman, that crime will be punished very harshly. So when the people have that kind of feeling, and then people began to feel, oh, because of this, Shivaji is like a God-given gift to us. And that's why Shivaji created such a dedicated assistant like Tanaji, Yesaji, Baji Prabhu Deshpande, who are ready to give their life. So this is the creation of Shivaji Maharaj from this point of view of this and many times we forget about that, because nowadays what happened to Shivaji Maharaj is presented from ideological school of thought. During the colonial rule of British, Lokmanya Tilak used Shivaji birthday as a vehicle for national awakening and nationalism. And that became such a popular that Shiva Jayanti was celebrated in Bengal. Tagore composed the poem in the Madras, Tamil Nadu, as you know. But I would like to share an interesting thing. Shivaji Jayanti was in 1908. Shivaji Jayanti was celebrated at Tokyo, Japan. And a Japanese scholar talk about Shivaji. That news published in American weekly called Gaelic America. I do have a copy of that issue. So telling the story, making the Shivaji as an inspiration for Indian freedom struggle happened. Then it come out, the Indian freedom struggle happened. Then there was a other school of thought, oh, Shivaji only was a Maratha, so he's become a caste leader. Like an anti-Brahmin movement used Shivaji as a caste. The Britishers encouraged that thing to present Shivaji as a Maratha warrior king. Then third thing happened, socialist analysis of Shivaji as a protector of the downtrodden people. Then communist analysis of Shivaji as between the have and have not, and Hindutva people, as you know. And one of the good example about Hindutva people, two example, one, Savarkar wrote book, Savarkar composed a prayer, Arti of Shivaji, and he wrote a book about Hindu Nrusya. And that Savarkar, Hindu Pada Pashahi, praised Shivaji also. He wrote so many articles about Shivaji. But when the RSS was formed, Dr. Hedgewar said, there is no personality cult in RSS, only the saffron flag is our guru. So people ask, that is the kind of the description of God, Nirakar. We need something sagun, somebody we can see who is the ideal person for that. And Dr. Hedgewar said, such an ideal person, no other than Shivaji Maharaj. Why we are talking about Shivaji Maharaj? Because as I said to you, number one, that how we establish people government, how we establish law and justice and protection of the ordinary person and the revival of the job. Same time, he was only person who understood the importance of the Navy. And when he established Maratha Navy, that time Portuguese was already 300 years old. They established their post in Goa and Daman and Diu. British established their post in Surat and Mumbai and Rajapur, Kokad area. Dutch has a trading post in the Rajapur. And everybody had taken the share for protection money from the merchant who has a business with the Oman and Muscat and Aden and Africa. That time Shivaji built a navy Shivaji's navy was a small amount compared with the British navy who were coming from 5,000 years, 10,000 miles away, and the big ships and the guns and all of the thing. But Shivaji built a navy. Not only built a navy, Shivaji built a dockyard near Kalyan, Bombay, near Mumbai, and how to build ships. And when the British had got the Bombay as a gift in the wedding, the British wanted to build a Bombay, South Bombay area, which is well known as a fort, the fort there. As soon as Shivaji come to know, he said, allow the British to build a fort is a danger to the kingdom. So immediately he captured two surrounding islands, Khanderi and Underi islands, near fort, South Bombay, and built the fort there. And from there, he started the gunfight. So British Navy and Maratha Navy fought each other, and the British Navy was defeated. After that, that Khanderi Undiri today now is in the Indian Navy has a naval base there. So after that, there was the Janjira of Siddhi, of African Siddhi, of control the Janjira and terrorize the people. Shivaji counter-built the fort in the sea level, like a Sindhu Durga and Padma Durga. And the Navy goes, Shivaji Navy goes from Mumbai to Karwar. And happened that they started protection money from the merchant ship, and from there, Portuguese and British did not have any power. So British transferred their naval power or their strategy to Madras and Calcutta because East Indian coast was open. So this is one of the things. Third thing, as in naval, talking of modern India, Shivaji has fantastic intelligent gathering system. All of you know about the daring escape from Agra or attack on Surat. Before that, Shivaji gathered the information about it. That is the most important thing. Just like America did in Bin Laden, killing of Bin Laden, Shivaji did such a with the intelligence gathering about Afzal Khan. Because Afzal Khan was mighty general, number one. He captured Shivaji's father. He killed Shivaji's elder brother Sambhaji by cheating. He killed the Nayak of Tamil Nadu, promising him for meeting in for the discussion for the treaty and kill him in there. So Shivaji knew about, that is another unique thing. Shivaji knew about the opponent or enemy, the strength of enemy, psychology of enemy, and how to behave with that. So when Afzal Khan was a Subedar of Pratapgarh, nearby Pratapgarh. Why? So he knew the thick jungle of that area. So to make Shivaji another important thing, most of the Hindu king, they fought traditional warfare with the top of the elephant and bow and arrow. They could not understand the swiftness of the cavalry, rifle, and a gun. So on this background happened, there is bound to be happened. Another thing about most of the Hindus are, sorry for my harsh word, but most of the Hindus are happy with the spiritual inclusion, Bhakti Sampradaya. Another drawback is that because of Varna system, people began to believe that, oh, only Kshatriya is supposed to fight. Third thing, because of the caste system, there was a distrust about each other. Fourth thing, about language, they do not communicate with each other. Fifth thing, about geographical terrain, about the Rajasthan desert or the coming to the Peshawar or open flat land of the Ganges. So on this background, Islamic ruler, I'm using the word Islamic ruler, they captured the India. Muhammad Ghazni came 16 times. How many soldiers he has? 3,000. But every king fight within the kingdom. They allow the Ghazni to come up to the kingdom, seize the capital, and then fight bravely. Shivaji always fight in the enemy territory. He avoid to fight in his own territory. That is another uniqueness about Shivaji Maharaj. So another thing happened, like we trust enemy. We do not know about enemy, about psychological or personality profile of the enemy, but we do not know, we are completely ignorant about the religion, Islam and Islamic concept about the Hindus. So what happened when somebody surrender, we as a Hindu concept of forgiveness, we allow to go back. So with this background, Islamic ruler, I'm using the word Islamic ruler, captured all over India, and 700 years of Islamic rulership, we began to believe Delhi Sharowa Jagaji Sharowa. I mean, Delhi's king, Sultan or king or anybody is a Vishnu's incarnation. Shivaji uniqueness was he brought us back from that slavish mentality or colonial mentality into the, no, this is our Hindavi Swarajya, means this is a country of people. When Shivaji Maharaj at Surat, the British record say, I asked his general, what was the goal of his master? The British general say, the goal of his master was free Kashi, Mathura, and Ayodhya. Shivaji has only hardly 2.5 district land in the Maharashtra. And he was thinking about free Kashi, Mathura, and Ayodhya. One of the letters Shivaji Maharaj wrote to his people that we want to free from our country from Indus to Kaveri river. Another thing, when for his coronation or for having the, coming back to the, I'm jumping here and there, Abdul Khan came, he knew the Shivaji knew the importance of fort. Once you have the fort, you can have the land, surrounding land, and you can fight against the enemy for years. So make sure, as soon as Shivaji was in his capital, Raigad, as soon as he come to know the Abdul Khan is coming, he came to the Pratapgarh, which is his border area. And Abdul Khan realized the importance of Pratapgarh and the thick jungle surrounding. So make Shivaji angry. He destroyed Hindu temple of Tuljapur and Pandharpur. So as a Hindu king, get angry and coming out of Tyohar. But Shivaji refused to come out, go with the enemy's condition. And then Abdul Khan realized he won't come back. So then Abdul Khan come to Wai and started negotiation for treaty. Shivaji forced Abdul Khan to come at the bottom of Pratapgarh. And when he come to bottom of Pratapgarh, before that Shivaji Maharaj make an arrangement, putting his general, there are two top mountain area, one road to the Konkan area, one road to the Desh area. He put the two general, prominent general, behind of the Abdul Khan to chop up the back route, supply route. And this kind of thing, and the people consider is happening. Shivaji Maharaj promised Abdul Khan and brought him for the treaty and cheated him and killed him. It's a war. Either Abdul Khan has to die or Shivaji has to die, because Abdul Khan also wanted to kill Shivaji. And in Indian history, you can find so many examples in the Islamic history to cheating and killing history. So Shivaji did that thing. Even though, coming back to point, why am I calling him, of course, Navy, intelligence, spy system, knowledge of geography, when he do the daring escape from Agra. We know the thrilling story about Agra. escape. But keep in mind, he misled Aurangzeb and his administrator. That, oh, I'm not feeling well. Allow me to give the gift of the mithai to the saints and fakir, peers. And while doing that, he asked, he has a 3,000 soldier with him. He said, since you arrested me, allow my soldier to go back. And Aurangzeb was happy to give the permission because it will be easy for him to take action against Shivaji. So, but rather than that, Shivaji sent his all people back in such a way which help him is the next escape. Now, then Shivaji escaped from Agra. He did not go to south because he knew that Aurangzeb will look for him, and once do that. And keep in mind, those who help Shivaji, his soldier, his follower, they help Shivaji. Everybody knew that if they get caught by Aurangzeb, Aurangzeb tortured him such a way, the death is a gift. And it happened in two people of Shivaji Maharaj. The Aurangzeb soldier captured him and tortured him in such a way, but they remained firm. Oh, we don't know anything. We don't know anything. Shivaji Maharaj put his son in Agra with one of the Shivaji Maharaj Prime Minister, Moropad Pingli's brother-in-law. And when Shivaji Maharaj escaped from Agra, he did not come south. He went to east. He went to Gaya. From Gaya, he went to from Orissa to Telangana, Telangana to Bijapur to Raigad. Another interesting story, that why Shivaji went to Agra, because Shivaji faced defeat at the hands of Mirza Raje Jaisi. And Mirza Raje choked him such a way that Shivaji had no other choice than accept humiliating treaty, giving 2/3 of his kingdom and fortress to Mughal, and visit Agra, and his son become 5,000 years Jagirdar in service of Aurangzeb. But taking the victory and defeat in the same level is called yogic condition. And Shivaji, that's why Swami Ramdas called Shivaji Maharaj as a Sriman Yogi. And when Shivaji Maharaj escaped from Agra, when Shivaji Maharaj was captured and Sambhaji, his son, Prince was captured, and 2/3 of the land were given to Mughal and fortress were given to Mughal. But keep in mind, Jijabai controlled the remaining kingdom, and not a single general or kilidar cheated Shivaji. In spite of 30% tax, all people remained loyal to Shivaji, because Shivaji considered himself as a God vehicle for the kingdom, for the people, Hindavi Swarajya. While having the Hindavi Swarajya, he played the good modern strategy. He first start warfare against Bijapur, but he did not do any problem with the Golconda, because he did not want to fight with the two enemies at the time. But when Aurangzeb realized danger of Shivaji, as soon after the elimination of Abdul Khan or termination of Abdul Khan, Aurangzeb sent his uncle Shaiste Khan against Shivaji with 100,000 soldiers. Abdul Khan came with the 80,000 soldiers, and Shivaji Maharaj has hardly 3,000 soldiers. That's why Shivaji Maharaj invented guerrilla warfare, because in the Sahyadri mountain, it's very useful to harass the enemy soldiers and surprise attack. And happily sharing with you, when Ho Chi Minh, president of Vietnam, came to Delhi, at a joint session of parliament, he openly said, we learned the guerrilla warfare tactics from Shivaji Maharaj. It is on the record. That time, one of the minister, Mohan Dharia, told this thing to historian also. Foreign minister of Vietnam she came to Delhi. And as soon that any foreign dignitary come there, we take them to Rajghat and show them Taj Mahal and Jaipur. And they ask, foreign says, what would like to have? And she says she would like to go to Raigad. And all the foreign ministry in India, Delhi, they got puzzled. What is Raigad? And when she say, it's a capital of Shivaji Maharaj. Then they realize it must be Maharashtra. They contact Maharashtra and then they realize it near to Konkan area. She went to Raigad fort. She took the soil of Raigad and brought it back to the Vietnam. So Shivaji Maharaj coming back to point, introduced espionage system, naval system, administration, justice, geography knowledge, education. When he formed that time, the lingua franca was Persian and Arabic important. Shivaji Maharaj formed language in the local language Marathi Shabdakosh, all word counter word for that. He encouraged for that. So all these things, when it come that, then some people, even the Yaduna Sarkar say, how come he has only kingdom of the 2.5 district? And I know that when I talk today, something like that, the people ask me the same question. I say, forget about it. When America formed, there are only 12 colonies. That's why Chicago became a Northwest to them. Forget about the West and area, open wasteland or South Louisiana Treaty. But if the 12th colony can come and form, and George Washington, you can call the modern maker of the modern America. If Mazzini give the inspiration to Italy and he called Mazzini as a maker of modern Italy, why not Shivaji Maharaj maker of modern India? I think, Shivaji Maharaj, as you know, that inspiration from all this point of view, do not present Shivaji Maharaj as Maratha warrior king. He was more than that. He created extraordinary people from the ordinary people. Another thing that in spite of the kingdom, you won't see the Shivaji Maharaj build up palaces. He lived a simple life. And this Audrey, she say, Aurangzeb also living a simple life, and he stitches his own cap and sells the cap and living on that income. But keep in mind the difference between Aurangzeb and Shivaji is like a Western concept, like a God and Satan, because Aurangzeb arrested, put his father in jail for the kingdom. And Aurangzeb killed horribly his elder brother Shah Dara Shukar, and give the cut head, beheaded him and sent his head as a gift to the father. He killed his another two brothers. Shivaji Maharaj, when the Shahaji Maharaj was arrested as a political checkmate, Shivaji Maharaj surrendered and gave back to free the Shahaji Raje. When Shahaji Raje died, Shahaji has a Chagidari at Bangalore and Jinji.
Looks like Damleji is doing this. Looks like Damleji's network has some issue.
Oh, he came back.
वापस आ गए अच्छी बात
Yeah.
है
No, whole thing I'm against telling that as a Friends of India Society, we should present Shivaji Maharaj as a maker of modern India with the modernity concept and as an ideal Hindu universal personality. Dhanyavad, sir. If you have any questions, I will be happy to answer. And as all of you are here, scholars and well-educated and postgraduate people, almost retirement age. So looking forward to your comments.
Krishna, do you want to say something?
और पूछिए किसी और बस सबसे पूछिएगा.
Okay.
Anybody else want to say something? Because we have 10 minutes. So
Right.
please express yourself. I will say a few words after everybody talks.
Let me join in.
Sure.
And in the same vein that Damleji said that Shivaji is a national icon. And from modern time, we saw a poem by Rabindranath Tagore in honor of Shivaji, by Subramanyam Bharati in Tamil in honor of Shivaji. What people don't realize that a very humble poet born in Kanpur in Uttar Pradesh during Shivaji Maharaj's time wrote an anthology called Shivaraj Bhushan. And I'm going to share 3 minutes of this. Let me see if I can share. Doesn't look like I can share somehow. The option is not there. So that poet was Mahakavi Bhushan. Mahakavi Bhushan wrote this Shivaraj Bhushan, Rajbhushan as an anthology. Mahakavi Bhushan also served in the court of Aurangzeb and had recited a poem dishonoring Aurangzeb, and he had to leave the court of Aurangzeb, and then he went to Maharashtra and became the chief poet in Shivaji Maharaj's Darbar. This poem has been sung by Bharat Ratna Lata Mangeshkar, and that poem goes by the wordings of
Aditya, I just made you co-host. Maybe you can share now if you try.
I can share the screen and I will try to get this poem for everyone. Let me see if I can get it.
Yes.
Yes, I can get it.
रायगडावर हिंदवी स्वराज्याचं सार्वभौम सिंहासन जळायला लागलं. भारतवर्षातील इंद्रप्रस्थ, देवगिरी, चितोड, कर्णावती.
So most of the people think this is Marathi because it is sung and used in a lot of Maratha drama and movie word, these lines, but this is in Braj Bhasha, written in 1600, around 53 or so. So that is the honor of Shivaji given by north, south, east, wherever you go. The most important recognition of Shivaji as a national icon was by Indian Army that instituted a statue of Shivaji very recently in 2022 in Jammu and Kashmir. So that is the honor, that is the state of Shivaji as a national icon. Thank you.
Thank you, Adityanji. Just because we are looking at the historic
Allow me two more important things I would like to share. The
Sure.
about Shivaji Maharaj published in the after the Surat, published in the British paper and Dutch paper also. So this is the thing happened when the Dutch people met Shivaji at the near Golconda. Shivaji, they wanted Dutch, French, and English people want to have the protection and concession from Shivaji Maharaj. So Shivaji Maharaj told Dutch people that you can do the business, but you're not allowed to do the slave business. So he stopped the slavery. Third thing I would like to share with you, when he visited Rajapur, Konkan area, at the Dutch trading center, there was a printing machine. And Shivaji Maharaj made an inquiry, what is this? And unfortunately could not get more information. Otherwise, printing press would have been done in Shivaji time. Rather than missionary publish the books in Indian language book, Shivaji Maharaj would have published the books. Thank you.
Thank you, Damleji. I think Rahul Deshmukh ji wanted to say something or ask something.
Dhanyavad. Thank you for this wonderful program and being part of this program. Damleji has given a lot of good information, which I was not aware. But I think Aditya ji has mentioned one point about Kavi Bhushan. I would like to share some information about it, if you allow me. So that is very good reference. Kavi Bhushan was from North and then he came to Maharaj. And he written a kavya called Shiva Bhavani. There were 52 shlokas in that, or 52 stanzas, you can say. And one of them is, of course, whatever shared by Aditya ji, Indrajimi Jambapura. There is another one which was little extreme, and that was not extreme, I should say, little showing the reality of it. And it was one of I would like to share. So in that he is saying, in the same Shiva Bhavani itself, he was saying that Bhushana Bhanata Bhagyo Kashipati Vishwanath और कौन गिनती में भुई गित भव की काशी करबला होती मथुरा मदीना होती शिवाजी न होते तो सुन्नत होती सबकी. So he is saying that if Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj would have not stand up or would have not stood up, then Kashi would have been Karbala, Mathura would have been Medina. So that was one of the best. Within 4 lines, he is showing that what kind of environment is there in at that time and what is the importance why Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj is more important. And after Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, Raja Chhatrasal from Bundelkhand. So he was very inspired. His father was Champat Rai Bundela. He was Aurangzeb's Sardar. But after his death, all the Rajya has taken by Aurangzeb. So then he came to Maharaj and he says, I have 5,000 of army and I wanted to join you to fight against Aurangzeb. So Maharaj said that there is no place in my darbar for you. So he said, how come I am so brave? I have 5,000 army with me. I'm coming with all my money and everything. So he said, see, you are the king and I want you to go back to Bundelkhand and I want you to start the same kind of thing which I started here. And I will support you whatever you want, but go back and start those things. And he was so inspired. And after some time, he also get into some trouble because he started fighting with Aurangzeb. So he returned one letter back to Maharaj, and then Maharaj sent him one letter. The only thing I wanted to mention about that, in that letter, he mentioned that if in this kind of trouble problems, always remember your mom and dad. And if that is also not enough for you, then remember Yogeshwar, means Sri Krishna. So he was always influenced by Sri Krishna. If you compare, he has childhood friends, Tanaji, Yesaji, all those were childhood friends who actually given their life for Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. Also, when he escaped from Agra, you can compare the exact same scenario, how Sri Krishna was escaped from Kamsa's Bandikhana. So he also did the same thing. He think about that because his mother told all those stories in his childhood. So he kept everything in his mind and he applied in that modern age. So he knows that how Krishna came outside, how those jail opened up, how he get into basket, Vasudeva put him in a basket, and how he delivered into his uncle's location. So similarly, Maharaj also did the same kind of a trick. They tricked all those Sainik, Rakshak, and he also came inside the basket. It's just a big basket, and then he tricked also. So he was very much influenced with Krishna. And thank you, Aditya for giving that Kavi Bhushanji's reference.
Thank you, Rahulji. Thank you very much for bringing important information back to us.
Okay, I understand the time is almost over, and I don't think I need to say anything more than what has been said. It was a wonderful program, and thanks to our friend Sridharji, and as always, he came out very wonderfully. We gave them only 3 days of time only to prepare himself, but of course he was ready all the time. So I think that is a good start of these kind of series now, in addition to our usual talk discussions here and there. And I think we, after discussion with Aditya ji and other leaders here, I think we have decided. So please give a list of people you would like to share with everybody else. So we will put their names and everything else on the list, and we may do it. Maybe we will have more people, more decision, more programs every week, once a week. It's okay. We just keep on doing these things. I think that's a good idea. It's very fulfilling. See the people who talked, they have so much passion in the whole thing. That's what we need. And I think I learned a lot from these things. Of course, I want to talk more, but that's all right. But maybe for in the future, Vivekji, we can think about it. Maybe we should add our time, okay?
Sure.
Just last thing, my co-author, Dr. Walter Anderson, he's joined with us. And as you know, he was the dean of the John Hopkins University. And Dr. Walter Anderson here, Dr. Bishmaji, you know him, Dr. Anderson. Yeah, Walter Anderson is there. So Walter, would you like to say something?
Sure.
You are muted, sir. Professor Anderson, you are muted. Kindly unmute yourself.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sure.
Yes.
Thank you.
Sorry, I'm a little late, but as you can see, I broke my hand. And I had to be at the doctor and then a therapist till quite late in Baltimore. So I took a bit to get down here, and I go to India on this Sunday. So I have to do as much as I can. So if any of you know a good hand therapist in Delhi, let me know, because I have to find one sort of quickly. Yeah, I did have a question. Shri and I spoke this afternoon about a couple things, but among them was a few things about Shivaji, and it may be too late, and you may have addressed it, is what was Shivaji's view regarding the caste system? And what was his views on religion? So you may have addressed them. I know you and I talked about both of these issues at some length this afternoon. So I don't know whether you'd be repeating yourself if you answered those to me now. Maybe we don't have time to. Did you talk about, was that a subject of discussion?
Yeah. Can I answer three lines only?
Yes.
Three
Yeah,
lines.
please do.
Yes.
Number one, even the Muslim historian, Aurangzeb historian, admired Shivaji for two reasons. Shivaji never demolished any mosque, never inserted a Quran, respected a Muslim woman. This is record from the Kapi Khan, number one. And the same thing applied to the other. Regarding the caste system, what Shivaji did, give them goal. So people come together for Hindavi Swarajya. What's a Hindavi Swarajya mean? People rule, not Hindavi Swarajya, people rule. And Shivaji used as a people rule when the first he have friendship with the Golconda, Hyderabad. But when the Aurangzeb came to south, he joined hand with the Bijapur and Golconda and say it's an invasion from the north. So he tried to build an alliance with this Muslim ruler also. But same time, he has a goal about all India, from free the India, from Indus to the South India, all over the South India. And as a Hindu concept has to be, government has to be secular. Justice to all.
But what did he think about the caste system? Because
That's why I say,
Yeah.
that's why he say he brought all the people of the caste, different caste, with the goal for the free Hindavi Swarajya, self-rule government. So people forget the caste differences and join together from Maratha to the untouchable, or we can Dalit people or tribal people. Join the hands with Shivaji, because you may come late. As I say, when he revived the system at the administration and they give the people the jobs and protection and respect, people feel this is my government, and that's why they're ready to die for Shivaji. Even the Shivaji's naval general was Muslim. Daulat Khan, naval general was a Muslim. Shivaji's general was a Muslim. So he has all the friendship, he has a very good relationship with all the people and all the people from all the castes.
I'm going to interject here. And I find it very, very exasperating, and with no disrespect meant to Professor Anderson, who has appeared in my shows at CSA, but there is always an attempt to demolish Indian heroes and Indian icons by Western academicians by using these two litmus tests: concept of caste and quote unquote secular credentials. And I don't think we need to fall into that trap.
But you have to,
Professor Anderson,
but you have to respond to it. You have to respond to it.
Please let me complete my point before you interject. That is normal decency. So, talking about Shivaji's concept of caste and Shivaji's place in the caste hierarchy, if I may inform you, Shivaji was considered Shudra. He was a low caste person. But the beauty of India is that whenever there is an assault by outside invaders, people have become one. When Rama went to Sri Lanka, his army did not have Kshatriyas. You know that. You know who built that Rama Setu? It was not Kshatriyas. everyone came. What we call Vanavasi, or the jungle dwellers, came in Rama's army. Similarly, at the time of Shivaji, all castes came. Shivaji himself was not a Kshatriya, but he became a king. So the attempt by Western academicians to demolish Indian icons using these two litmus tests, I think that is despicable.
Well, whatever. Let me just say, whatever, whether it's despicable or not, it's a legitimate question to ask, okay? And the
Absolutely.
other question is you have to respond to that, because I just was at Hopkins today, which is where I teach at Johns Hopkins University, which, and people constantly, now there's been more popularity to Shivaji. I am addressed that constantly. Is how did he respond to these two issues? And I was sort of enlightened by my friend Sridhar about both of those questions, but they're questions you have to respond to. You can't brush it aside.
Exactly, in the same way you have to answer questions about Thomas Jefferson and
Yes,
his relationship with the slave
but
girl.
today is not Thomas
So
Jefferson. Today is Shivaji.
It is Shivaji, but I am giving you my opinion that he was not actually a upper caste person. He was a Shudra who rose to the level of a king. And that's the beauty of India.
But that still doesn't answer. What did he say about the issue
want to
of caste?
So I think
Well, he
Respond
was
to
not
Mr.
interviewed by a
Anderson's
Western journalist or a Western academician. about
Aditya ji, let's avoid the debate. We're talking
So-
about Shivaji. To answer Dr. Walter Anderson, earlier, Walter, I mentioned about Hindus were divided by the caste and linguistic groups and the different geographical terrains, all the thing, and the impact of the spirituality, bhakti, in action. All these things I mentioned that. But Shivaji beauty was he brought all the people from all caste people, from Kshatriya, Brahmin to Kshatriya, to the Dalit, to the tribal, and even women also. Women also play the important role. Shivaji's mother, Shivaji's daughter-in-law, Tarabai, age of 23, widower. She
So,
fought against
Damleji, Chetan ji wants to say something. Chetan ji, please.
Thank you for allowing me. First of all, congratulations, all the team. You arranged all the great session today, and really wonderful speech by Damleji and all the poems recited. Mr. Anderson, to respond to your question, actually, we'll talk about the evidence here, what we saw in Shivaji's lifetime. So it is said that 18 different castes in the native language, they are called actually pagadi walas, the 18 types of pagadis. So because they all wore different types of hats. So they all were actually part of the Shivaji's army, and also in different places in his offices at different levels. There are several evidences. So if you see in his ministries, there were Brahmins, and there were Kshatriya Samaj for Senapati role and the commander-in-chief of armies. Then there are CKP, which is a Chandraseni Kayastha Prabhu, that's a different caste. So those all presented in his offices at different levels. And the lower caste people, Mahar, or even the OBCs that are termed in modern India right now, they all were actually part of the whole Swaraj making effort. And it's actually greatness of Shivaji who united all these people who came from different background, also from different language, and even he had very, very few Muslims. He also employed actually some of the Portuguese and British engineers in the early days of making of the ships and naval army that he started. Once they realized that these ships can actually pose danger to the Portuguese Empire, the king, the viceroy over there in Goa, he recalled all those engineers and asked them not to help Shivaji, because then he will become a threat to their empire. So all these things we can notice that he had no barriers about the caste or even religions at that time. Although, if you look at the situation in the times in the 17th century, all over India, before Shivaji was born, there were all Muslim rulers who were actually very tyrannic. There is a great book actually that came recently. What if Shivaji was not born? Right. So in that book, actually, all the evidences by from like 1,000 years before him, what was the face of India and what were they actually doing? So few centuries before Shivaji was born, entire South Asian continent, several villages and kingdoms were actually facing a big tyranny of an oppression from different rulers, Islamic rulers. So naturally, as a defense, in his mind, he was actually representing the Hindu population at that time, and which is only like he was fighting for his freedom and rights. So he becomes naturally the first freedom fighter for India, which is fighting for his rights. So
thank you, Chetanji. And I think thank you everyone for such a wonderful session. I think this conversation can go further, but as you know, time is ticking. We have already crossed our time limit. But I would like to just close today's session with one statement which was given by Sri Aurobindo and Shivaji, where he's saying in terms of Shivaji that not for myself I fought and ruled, but for God and the Maharashtra Dharma, the religion of Hindu nationality which Ram Das enunciated. So I think with that, if we can wrap up today's session, and thank you everyone for joining, and we'll have another session sometime soon. Thank you.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste.